Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we were discussing about the system calls. We have discussed how the system call is working in your system with the help of operating system. Actually, system call is going to run the system services. Whatever you are going to give you from the user, they will convert it directly with the help of operating system services. Now, we are discussing the example of system calls, how you can copy a particular file from some location to another. So what you are just writing on a single command, that is for copy. You are just copying a file and then it will be copied and you are pasting a file to another location. This is the one thing for you. But how many different services will be there? What will be the involvement of the operating system? Here we have the sequence of instructions which are going to be executed after your copy file, copy content. So what will be the sequence? First, system will acquire the input file name from you. What is the input file name? Input file name will include the location of that particular file. Suppose your file is in F drive in some new folder, then F, then new folder, then the file name. The complete file name will be, it will acquire. How? It will give you a right prompt to the screen. A cursor will be blinking like this. Now you can input some file name here. Then it will accept the input. These two sequences are just for the acquiring the input file name. Now system will get to know the output file name also. Again, the same type of operation will be there. Write prompt to screen and accept input. It will again give you a cursor blinking where you can write the output file name where you want to copy. Then open the input file. Now whatever you have given the input file, if input file doesn't exist, you are required to abort this copy operation. Otherwise, you are going to open that input file. Then create the output file. You are creating an empty file, empty output file, whatever you have given the name of the output file. Then if it is already existing, then you are going to abort the copy operation. You can say that this particular file is already existing there, so you cannot copy the content from here to there. Then a loop is there, loop until read fails, until you are getting some characters. You are reading from the input file, you are writing to the output file. You are reading from the input, writing to the output. How you are copying? Suppose you are having a file, this one, where so many digits are there, 1 2 3 4 5 and so on. So all these things to be copied one after another in a new file. So you will be copying the contents character by character until read fails. Close output file, then you are closing this output file. Write completion message to the screen, terminate normally. After copying, you are going to give the user a message that the copy has been completed. Now you can terminate your process normally. So these are the different call sequences after you are calling a system call for the copy content. Copy from one source to another. Then the system call implementation. How the system call is implemented inside the system. Typically, a number is associated with the system call. There are so many system calls in the system, but every system call is having a unique number. System call interface maintains a table indexed according to these numbers. So there will be a table like 1, like 2, like 3. There will be different system calls associated with these numbers. Who will maintain the table? The system call interface. The system call interface invokes the intended system call in OS kernel and returns a status of the system call and any return values. The caller need to know anything about how the system call is implemented. Just needs to obey API and understand what OS will do as a result call. Actually, user is nothing to do with the working of the system call. User is directly going to use that particular system call. He doesn't know the internal working of the system call. How many call sequences will be there whenever user is going to call a system call. Most detailed of operating system interface hidden from programmer by API, managed by runtime support library, set of functions built into libraries including the compiler. So actually it is nothing but a type of code. Whenever you are calling that particular system call, there will be so many lines written in that system call. It's a package, you can say. Whenever you are calling that package, all the instructions, whatever written there, will be executed one after another. Suppose you want to open a particular file. How your system will be doing this? So you are having some user application, then you are directly passing a command that is for open a particular file. Then you are using this open in the user mode. We are talking about user application. Then some system call interface will be there who will be giving the number for that particular open command. Then according to that number, I is a number for that system call. It will check which particular system call you have. 1 second, guys. So according to that number I, whatever you are calling, it will give some operations for this open. Implementation of open system call, there will be so many instructions associated with that open. Then it will return the output to system interface and it will give you the output to the user application. So here we can say how you are managing a system call. First, user application is calling the system call. Then system call will be manipulated with the help of system call interface. Then system call interface will give the exact number according to the system call, whatever you are calling. Then what are the different uh, uh, execution lines will be there. These will be executed one after another with the help of the operating system services. Then it will return the output to the system call interface, and system call interface will return the output to the user application. System call parameter passing. Whenever you are calling, you are using a system call, there might be a case that you want to pass some value to the system call. Like if you are using a printf command in your C program, printf is a function. Okay, printf is not going to write anything on your output screen because printf is not a system call. But indirectly, printf will call some system calls that will help you to write all the things to the output screen. But whatever you are passing in the system call, that is printf, must be carry forwarded to that system call. So you should be able to pass some value with the help of the system call. How you are doing this? Often more important information is required than simply identify of desired system call. Exact type and amount of information vary according to operating system and the call. So there may be a case that you want to send some information with the help of that system call. There are three different methods how you can pass the different parameters to the operating system. First one is pass the parameter in registers. In this case, your limit is fixed. There are a limited number of registers. You can pass only one or two different values with the help of the system call, but it will be very fast. Second type is parameters stored in a block or table in the memory and address of block passed to the parameter in a register. So you are having so much data, you are going to pass a particular table, but you cannot directly pass the table. You are just passing the address of the table with the help of a register. In this register, you are passing the address of the table. It's an indirect one. This approach taken by Linux and Solaris. Parameters placed, the next one is parameters placed or pushed onto a stack by the program and popped off the stack by the operating system. You can always send some different values with the help of some stack. That stack will be you will be using in the primary memory. So all the contents you whatever you want to pass will be in this primary memory, then it will be no issue. Block and stack methods do not limit the number of length of the parameters being passed. The last two methods in the stack or with the help of address passing, you can pass any size of parameters. There is no fixed limit. So here we are having a diagram how you are passing a table to the operating system. So here we are using a user program. We are having a user program where X is a parameter for call. You want to pass this X. Load X, load address of X in some register. This is a register where you are placing the address of this X. Okay. And you are calling system call number 13. Then both the information, the system call number as well as the register value will be passed to the operating system. User parameters from table X, code for system call 13. Now it will be having the code for the system call number 13 and it will execute it for you. After execution, it will return the output to the user. Types of system calls. Now here we are going to deal all the types of system calls, whatever you are having in your system. Might be or might not be, you have seen some of them, but anyhow you are indirectly using these all system calls with the help of some user interface. So process control. For process control, we are having some system calls. Okay, for process control, we are having so many system calls like create process, terminate process, and abort process. Create process, you generally know whenever you want to create a new file, you are directly right clicking on your Windows desktop and you are selecting new. Then what kind of file you want, you are creating a file, you are creating a process means you are double clicking in particular item. But this is a system call, you are not directly using this create process, you are indirectly using this create process. Then end or abort, you are running some process, you want to abort it. Load and execute, you want to copy the contents into main memory. Get process attribute, set process attribute. Process attribute means you want to get the properties of the particular file, wait for time, wait event, signal event, allocate and free memory, dump memory if error, debugger for determining bugs, single step execution, logs for managing. There will be so many types of system calls associated with the process control. One second, guys. Then after this process control, we are having the file management. In file management, create file, delete file, open, close file, read, write operation, get and set file attributes. These are associated with the file operations. Then device management, system calls, request device, release device, read, write reposition, get device attribute, set device attribute. Device means whatever you are involving there as a hardware. That is, you can say input output devices, printer, monitor, keyboard, whatever you are going to use as the device management system calls. Get device attribute, set device attribute, logically attach or detach devices. So you must be aware about few of them. There might be a case that you are getting a question in the examination that what are the different system calls, write any 5, write any 10. So you should be aware about some different type of system calls in your system. Then information maintenance, get time or date, set time or date, get system data, set system data, get and set process, file, device attributes. Then for communication also there are create, delete, communication connection. Message passing is also there. Shared memory model is also there. Transfer status information. There are so many types of system calls associated with the communication also. Then for protection also control access to resources, how you are managing your resources, how much control it is, who can use that particular file, or who will be allowed to use or modify that particular content of file. Then this get and set permissions, allow and deny users access. Then this is the example. Uh, what are the different exact system calls in your Windows and Linux? The following illustrates various equivalent system calls for Windows and Unix operating systems. For process control, we are having create process, exit process, wait for single object in the Windows. Meanwhile, in Unix, fork, exit, and wait system calls are there. So we are having the different syntax for using the different system calls in the different type of operating systems. For file management, create file, read file, write file, close, handle. These are the system calls in Windows. In Linux, open, read, write, and close. Device management, set console mode, read console mode, write console. Here, IOCTL, read and write. There will be so many type of differences in the Windows and Unix as well. Now we will discuss an example how your C program is calling a system call and how system is going to deal with it. Like in the previous slide, in the previous 2 or 3 slides, I was discussing the printf command you are using in C language, and it will call some system call inside the operating system. How it is going to be? The standard C library. The standard C library provides a portion of system call interface. for many versions of Unix and Linux. As an example, let's assume a C program invokes this printf statement. The C library intercepts this call and invokes the necessary system call or calls in the operating system. In this instance, the write system call, the C library takes the value returned by write and pass it back to the user program. So here we are having a C program. In your C program, somewhere in between you have written the printf statement and you want to print the greeting. Okay, first you're calling a standard C library. Now you are in the user mode. After going to this standard C library, you will be in the kernel mode. Indirectly, it will call the write system call. Write system call will be having so many instructions to execute, and again you must be passing these greetings, the value, whatever you want to pass must be through a stack or a register. You will be passing this value to the standard C library and it will be passed with the help of this write system call. Then this write system call will be using the system hardware and will be writing the greeting over the output screen and it will return the output to the user program directly.